Hi, Jessica. All right. Here we are. It is Saturday, March 28th, according to my computer. And this is Yoda Live. I'm Yoda, spelled Yoddah, because film studios are litigious. And as some of you can see from the sign above my head, or next to me, depending on where you're seeing this, it is diner night. And all that means is that we will talk about anything except politics today. We'll talk about our favorite food. Yeah, I didn't get one, Jessica. I did this fresh trim to my beard. It's my way of looking like I lost weight. It's a cheat code. But yeah, thank you. Yeah. I basically like every spring I trim it down, and then every like August 1st in the dog days of summer, I take it very almost all the way down, almost bare down to the skin, just to sort of restart, you know. And that first, it takes about a month before I look normal again, but you know, the only thing I don't like about starting over is that you get to see how many chins I have, and that's despicable. Um, but anyway, I just realized I didn't pick out a song. I didn't pick out a song for today. Um, Let me try and think. Something upbeat, something from the 70s. Why the fuck is that doing that? Oh, that's weird. All right, let's see. Let's see what we can find. I'll do the first song that came into my head. It just came in out of nowhere. Why not? All right, let's listen to some good old. I guess these people. I don't know if they would be considered pop um or southern rock. I don't know. but I always liked them. So here we go. 1976.
We've been together since way back when. Sometimes I never wanna see you again, but I want you to know, after all these years, you're still the one I want whispering in my ear. You're still the one I wanna talk to in bed. Still the one that turns my head. We're still having fun, and you're still the one. I look at your face every day,
Hi, Danny.
but I never saw it till I went away. When it rained again, I just wanted to go. Deep in the desert, I long for the snow. You're still the one that makes me laugh. Still the one that's my better half. We're still having fun, and you're still the one. You're still the one that makes me strong. Still the one I wanna take along. We're still having fun, and you're still the one. Yes, you are. Changing our lives on the road. Even though we go through. Still the one that I love to touch. Still the one, and I can't get enough. We're still having fun, and you're still the one. You're still the one who can scratch my itch. You're still the one that I wouldn't switch. We're still having fun, and you're still the one. You are still the one that makes me shout. Still the one that I dream about. We're still having fun, and you're still the one. You are still the one. You're still the one. We're still having fun, and you're still the one.
Alrighty then. Still the one. New Orleans, 1976, 50 fucking years ago, and it's still a great song, at least in my opinion. Danny, I have sent you an invitation if you'd like to come up. And Jessica, anybody else, whoever wants to come up, feel free. Hello, Danny. How you doing?
All right. That movie I was watching was from 2026,
Yeah, I saw the
Primate.
text. Yeah. I didn't know there was I replied to you a minute ago. I didn't know there was a new one. I don't know if I want to watch it. It's listed as a horror film.
It
It was
is. It is
okay.
gruesome.
Oh, so I won't be watching it.
No, I wouldn't watch it. I'm not going to watch it again, but I was into it. I couldn't leave it. So
You wanted to, yeah. I've had relationships like that. Hey, Jessica, what's happening?
Well, I'm fucking exhausted and my voice is, not the best it's ever been, so I don't have it in me to suppress my accent. So if I sound like a
Oh,
fucking hick, I
that's
apologize.
okay. It slipped out in the past. We know your secret. It's all right. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going up tonight. I've been exhausted all day, and I was like, what's the point? But I was like, you know what? I need a good diner night. I need to just chill out and talk about whatever. Now,
I'm glad that.
the uh
Sorry, go ahead.
the original Primate film, was that I kind of remember it was from the 90s, but I'm not sure. Do you know when the first one was, Danny?
No, but I'll look it up for you.
Well, I can do that. Um, so let's see. Let's see, what do we got for Primate? I've got 1974. I've got 2020, but that's Primates. Why did I think of? Oh, maybe I'm thinking Primal Fear, which I think is Mark Wahlberg.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking about. Primal Fear.
This movie was made in 2025, but was released in 2026
Well,
on
that's
video.
always the case. So Primal
Right.
Fear, 1996, and I think Ed Norton. Let's see. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking about. Is Primal Fear. That's a much better cast. There's a bunch of no names in this 2026 release. I mean, that's what it seemed like to me. Were there any stars in it? Do you remember? I'm seeing
No,
Johnny
I didn't recognize
Sikoa,
anybody
which
in
is
it.
a woman. Jessica Alex, Troy Kotsur. I've seen him, but he's like a B actor. No offense, Troy. We need B actors. Victoria Wyatt, Gia Hunter. Like nobody. This is just a. Is there a cameo of anyone famous? No, looks like
Nope.
not. Oh yeah, yeah, and it got a 6.6, which is probably more than it deserves. Oh yes, I'm gonna mute you, Danny, because I don't want to hear you chewing. No offense.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so Skip says, "Happy No Kings." I forgot it was No Kings Day today, right?
That's why I'm
Um,
exhausted.
because you went out to protest.
Yeah, I spent most of the day out exercising my First Amendment right. That's why I'm exhausted and have very little voice.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you were out in public yelling. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Skip
More,
this
more so
fish. Let me
screaming at
just.
idiots, but you know.
Yeah, very much like I do here. Skip, how you doing?
What's going on? How are you?
I'm good. What's on your mind this evening?
I'm just happy that we have the right to redress and protest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they haven't
Hell
taken
yeah.
that one yet.
Not yet. I've been on your live a couple. Oh, I haven't actually gone up, but I've passed a couple of times. So I just followed you. I think a
There you
couple of
go.
days ago. So I just wanted to say hi.
I did that to one of my girlfriends when after we broke up. I accidentally took uh I took Sudafed and some other anti-congestant together. Like I had
Mhm.
forgotten that I took the first one and I took a second one and I was feeling a little loopy. And so I got it into my head to drive by my ex-girlfriend's house. And then luckily
Oh no.
I didn't go in or anything, but yeah, I realized later on, I was like, why did I do that? That's so weird. And then I realized, oh yeah, you were kind of over the counter stoned.
Oh yeah. I've done that. I did that one time when I was 21. I took a what is that called? It puts you out. It's the exact opposite of Adderall. It's
Ambien.
yes, God. Those
Oh,
things are terrifying.
I've
There's
heard
like
so
a
many crazy stories about people on Ambien.
I went to
Like
sleep at a gas
sleepwalking,
station.
sleep eating, sleep cooking, sleep
Yeah,
driving.
yes. I went to sleep at a gas station that was like 3 blocks from my house. I never made it home. I just laid down at a gas station and went to bed, and then I woke up at like 5 o'clock in the
Wait, now
morning. It
were you
was
in your car or you were walking?
no, I was walking, sir.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
because that's generally what, the unhoused do. They just sort of plop down
Yes.
wherever they
Oh, I'm
are.
aware. Yeah.
That's
No, I
wild.
was just on that.
Wow. That's wild. And so did anything Like roughly speaking, how long were you asleep at this?
I was out for like 4 hours, 4.5 hours.
And nobody tried to wake you. Nobody tried to help
No,
you
they
out.
did. The
Oh,
gas
but you were out
attendants.
so strong that you couldn't get up.
Yeah, there was gas attendants that were closing the gas station out. It was in Philadelphia when I lived there,
Oh,
and
that
I bought a
explains a
pack of
lot, actually.
cigarettes. Yeah, yeah. I bought a pack of smokes, and it was like when I was smoking, and I just immediately fell asleep, and I think they just assumed like, oh, he's just one of them,
Right.
just let
Well,
him. Yeah,
Philadelphia is populated by garbage people, so they're used to that.
it's fair. That's a fair statement.
And by the way,
That's
Philly's a
not a
great
lie.
city. It's a
I
fun
love
city,
Philly, but yeah,
but
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, we're kind of trash.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like these are filled with YT people that riot when their team wins.
Yes, that is correct for sure. Well, I guess you
Oh
answered it. I was going to come up and ask if you joined No Kings, but you just
no,
answered it as I was coming up. So,
I will not. I
yeah,
I am glad that there are people that are willing to do that. I will say this as pleasantly as I can think to say it. And if people don't understand, I get it. If people disagree, I get it. But here's the thing: we did the right thing. November 2024. Brown and black people did the right thing. This problem was created by YT people, and
right,
so I finally decided to let you all try to solve it.
right.
So
That's
you will
fair.
not find me on the street for any of these protests, and people can think whatever they want about that. But this country has relied on black and brown people to fix their problems for a long time. And I just finally got to the place where I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Fuck it.
Good.
Why should I be held responsible for this fucking problem that I did not help create?
Absolutely. I would share that. Like, if I was a black person or a person of color, I would share that far and wide and be like, yeah, don't go. Do
Yeah.
not go.
That's what we
Let the
did
YT
in our own
people, right,
spaces. We were just like, yo, fuck this nonsense. We didn't do this. You
right.
know, you look at all the
Yeah, I would
stats. We
agree with
did
that.
not do this shit.
Well,
You know?
and if anything happens too, they're going to be looking for obviously minorities first because
Of course.
right. So it's
We're the
like, why
cannon
would we
fodder.
put
We're
right?
always the cannon
Exactly.
fodder. So yeah.
Yep.
And I
Well, I
mean, we've
just
been
wanted to say,
involved in
listen, I'm
every
sorry
major
for
conflict, especially Hispanics. I believe the number one minority group that has been involved in literally every conflict in America has been Puerto Ricans, Puerto Ricanos. And I know
Puerto Rico.
technically it's part of America, but it ain't really. It's not taken care of. Like, I mean, some places in America resemble Puerto Rico. Like, if you get into those southern red states where they just trash the citizens there. But when you have a president that goes down after a flood and hucks fucking paper towels into the crowd like he's throwing t-shirts at a basketball game, like you realize, oh yeah,
Yeah,
we
no,
don't look at this shit the same.
absolutely for sure.
Hold on, someone's writing a bunch of. Looks like Sergio's writing a bunch of comments, and I'm not. Whoops, come on, man. My technology is failing me. Well, it's just slower than I want it to be. This is all happening on satellites. I don't know why I'm complaining. I don't know how any of this works. They actually tried to take that right away during the Biden administration for the protest. Oh, Sergio's one of those. Sergio decided to come up and spread misinformation that Biden tried to take away rights. When? Where? Which
Oh,
one?
is he? I think what he's probably a false equivocation would be him talking about the masks, but that's not really like it's interesting that people want to talk about the time where there was a
What
quote
did
unquote
Biden do that was
yeah,
an infringement on anybody's rights?
yeah, it
Because they
wasn't.
said, because this is the rhetoric that I've heard. They say that it's because they tried to tell people not to go out and protest because, social distancing due to worldwide fucking
Yeah, it
pandemic.
was a suggestion.
Um, Right. And then also they like to throw in that he tried to take away free speech because old Marky Z had to go on about the Book of Faces and how they supposedly the Biden administration suppressed people's free speech because they
Never did.
couldn't
Never happened.
share misinformation wildly on
Yeah.
Facebook anymore. So
Yeah.
apparently that's
Stopping
somehow Biden's fault
misinformation
too.
and stomping on the First Amendment are vastly different things.
Right.
Just
Well, those of us with
and
two
by the
brain
way,
cells know that.
the important thing for everyone to remember is that free speech has limits. It's not you can say anything anytime. Like it's like that Supreme Court justice said, I forget which one it was, but he said, you can't scream fire in a crowded theater. That goes beyond your right of free speech. You are endangering other human beings, right? So if you're giving out misinformation, especially about a global health crisis, you are potentially endangering other people. And if Biden cracked down on that, then he was doing his job.
Yeah,
Also, yeah,
well,
cracking down to like what you were saying is important because enforcing something isn't even cracking down, right? Like still like being able because I had protests. I protested in Jersey and no one told me that I couldn't, but I wore a mask for my safety. No one told me that I couldn't or could. It was just that's what I did. Sorry,
and,
Jessica.
no, you're okay. And like those of us who have, brain functioning higher than that of a tic tac can understand, that the difference there between the two. And we can understand that there's a difference in encouraging people not to spread misinformation that could be incredibly harmful to the public at large and themselves versus wanting to pew pew protesters and completely suppress their rights altogether. um we understand that. The problem is that most of these fucking knuckle draggers do not.
Yeah. And here's the thing that really amazes me. Let's compare and contrast because it's a significant contrast between how those two presidents handled a worldwide pandemic. Okay? You had one who was like, la 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 la, it's not happening, right? While people perished. And then the other one who said, hey, let's take action to protect ourselves and our neighbors. If people condemn Biden for that, they're out of their fucking mind.
Yep. And it's interesting too because when people like it was interesting because when Joe Biden started to actually work with what's the guy's name? Uh I forget the guy that was the
Fauci?
head of the
Fauci.
Fauci, yeah, the guy that was the head of the CDC. It was like not damned if you do, damned if you don't, but it was pretty crazy because they were actually trying to solve real problems and
Yeah,
people
and the
started to come at them
situation
with
was
more.
fluid because and by the way, if you look at pandemics in history, they all unfold the same way. All right? It's hard to pinpoint what the situation is, and then the situation changes because it mutates, and then as it mutates, it has this interesting paradox where it becomes easier to catch but doesn't do as much damage. So this was a daily focus of theirs to respond in real time to what was going on. And people go, oh, it's a new story every day. No, it's really just one story: wear mask and distance. That's the main story that they've been telling throughout this whole fucking thing. Yes, some of the details changed in terms of their understanding of what was going on, but the most broad-based advice that they gave was the advice that other countries engaged in from the beginning. Because let's remember, everybody, all world leaders were notified on the same day in January 2020, January 8th, 2020. Everybody was contacted by the CDC and told, hey, this is what's happening. We've identified a pandemic. We believe that it's going to be similar to, 1918, et cetera, et cetera. And most world leaders went to work as soon as they got off the phone. Our guy went golfing and pretended that he didn't hear what he heard. I don't know if that's literal, but it's sort of what he did.
Well, that's pretty literal. Oh, Jessica, I was gonna ask you, Jessica, and I'm not sure who the gentleman is
That's
underneath
Danny.
Grandpa. Hey, Danny. Um, I was gonna ask you guys, how do you feel like what goes through MAGA's brain, do you think, when they see the turnouts that happened in the with the
Liberal
millions of
cucks.
people, with the
Um,
millions of cucks that protest this way?
well, it depends on how they're actually, or if they're actually seeing it in its true form. If they
Yeah,
see it in person, um, I I don't know. The ones that I get, um, that I interacted with today, just constantly spew vitriol. And they don't really have any deeper insight other than, oh, dumb libs type bullshit.
right.
Um, Whereas if they're people who are like staying home on that day and the only thing that they see of it is what's being shown on the media, typically their sources of media are, rather biased, whether it be Newsmax or Fox or whatever it may be, in which both of those channels tend to say that, oh, they're paid protesters, or they are, the crowd sizes are largely exaggerated and it's not real. They try to say that it didn't actually happen, not that many people actually showed up. And it's always kind of this denial and deflect kind of thing.
Yeah,
And so either way though, they tend to find some way to make it seem like we're the unreasonable ones. Um,
yeah.
and that's if they even acknowledge it to begin with.
I
And
mean, it's
from what
straight
I've
up lying.
experienced.
They manipulate the facts so much. They'll show footage from another country in another year and claim
Hmm.
that it's the No Kings March.
Yeah. Or if they do
Daniel,
see
that's
footage of, like the actual turnouts, like I know that uh Boston had a really big turnout today, and people are they're already trying to say, oh, that's AI, it's not real, not that many people were actually there, and all of that bullshit. They just try to
Yeah.
scramble with whatever they can to try to say that it's not as big of a thing as it is.
right.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing from the I think the big thing that I keep hearing is the minimization of the turnout.
Yeah.
Yes.
That seems to be their biggest thing. But
Before
I
we
mean, the turnout
continue,
is huge.
let's
Yeah.
say hello to Daniel. How you doing, Daniel?
Very good.
Okay,
You
what's
know,
on your
this
mind?
entire problem, once upon a time,
I can barely
we
hear you,
had,
Daniel. Can you speak up a little bit, or
sure, I'm sorry. I have this habit of laying my phone down on my belly because I'm
whatever
lazy.
gets you through the night, brother?
uh, once upon a time, we had a law that actually would have stopped a lot of this. Um, I'm trying to remember the name of the law
You're talking
while
about the fairness
I'm
doctrine?
thinking, but the fairness doctrine,
Yes.
and it was eliminated by uh, Ronald Reagan's,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and that would have stopped a lot of this because in order for them to say that, well, there weren't that many people showed up, they would have to have an opposing view that would say, oh, well, no, this is how many people did show up. Uh, you know,
Well, there are a couple
it,
things that between Reagan and Clinton really affected communication and other things as well. I mean, the deregulating that Reagan did is what led to manufacturing just leaving America. That was part of what he did. He also taxed VA benefits and Social Security, which had never been taxed before. and there's no reason to tax those things. But what he deregulated with communication, and Clinton in '96 further deregulated, made it possible for a small group of companies, pardon me, to own all of the communication. And that's why there's very few options for people if they want to hear differing opinions. And if you're in the South, where everywhere you go, in public, the television is tuned to Fox, you don't stand a chance of hearing all of the information.
It happened to me at the
Absolutely.
hospital the other day. My mother was in the hospital, and I went to go visit her, and they moved her to a different room, so they had me momentarily wait in the waiting room. In the waiting room of the hospital, they had Fox News on. Of course, I'm in Arkansas. I immediately found, like, luckily they keep the remote in there. Immediately found the remote and changed that shit.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I don't
In the waiting
understand
room of
why
the
any health
hospital.
professionals have news on. That doesn't make any sense, because most of the news, when they're not talking about the big sensational shit, it's like, oh, a house caught fire, everybody inside perished. It's like, why do I need to know this when I'm waiting to get my blood pressure checked? You know, doesn't make any sense to me. Danny, it sounded like you were trying to get in before.
Oh,
Well, I
no.
was just gonna. I was Daniel. I'm a Daniel too, but my nickname is Danny. He asked me a question.
Go ahead, Grandpa.
Thank you. I am a grandpa for damn sure. Anyway, uh, I was gonna piggyback on what Daniel was saying up there. Not only did Reagan do what you all said, he also started taxing the military retirement,
Yeah, I said
which
that
had
the
not
the
been
VA.
taxed
Yeah,
before that during his time.
yeah, I had
And of
mentioned it.
course, I get and I get that retirement plus Social Security, but he he has been a terrible. He was the most terrible president up to that time until this prick we got in office now. He had blown Reagan out of the water and Nixon. He made them two boys look like a couple of people in the Catholic Church, choir boys, compared to what they're doing now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to agree with you, Yoda. Having on news in a hospital in the first place. I mean, usually you're in there for a reason of high blood pressure, heart conditions, some
Yeah,
other
chances are it's
medical.
something bad. Either you're giving
Right,
birth or you're fighting some kind of fucking ailment. Why would you want to
right,
depress yourself with all the horrible shit that's going on? And and there's studies on this, by the way. Um, if you, people think that if they consume more information, they're more informed. Absolutely not true. Absolutely not
right.
true. And when you watch news all the time or read news all the time, consume it in whichever way you're going to consume it, you are more likely to think by a very significant percentage that the world is a terrible, dangerous place. Right? That's why I go out of my way not to watch news. I consume information through specific podcasts because they've established themselves with their expertise and they're not sensationalized and all this stuff. I look for information, right? And I don't even indulge in that very much. It's just a few minutes a day to get caught up on what's going on, follow up on some TikTok videos that I see and things like that. But it really does a number on your psychology to be bombarded with bad news all day long. Optimistic is here. What a perfect segue. Hello, Optimistic. So you know what? Let's, since we talked about the negative programming, why don't we each share, starting at the top. Let's go from the top down. Daniel, what do you do to counter the negative information that social media and news outlets want to pump into your brain?
What do I do? Well, number one, I don't really watch TV, uh, and especially the news, other than probably the local weather. Um,
Yeah, and I have a web
I'm
page
just
for weather. I don't need some guy telling me what 40 degrees means. I know what it means. So I just literally I have a saved thing for my local weather. I look at it. If I'm going to leave the house, I look at it to see how I need to dress, and then that's it. I don't need to turn on the television and have somebody, oh, well, wind is blowing. You know what wind is, everybody? Like, I don't even understand what the weatherman is there for, quite
well,
honestly,
my
but whatever.
my
That's,
TV is actually my TV is actually hooked to my computer, so
hmm
I use my computer. It's actually in the living room. You
hmm
could use it as a TV. You can, matter of fact, I do spreadsheets on it during the day. Um, but uh, I have what you would call basically a very happy personality. I'm 75 years old, and to tell you the truth, I could care less. Uh, I've just reached the point where I've got a few years left, and I want to live them.
I think the kids are referring to that as no fucks to give, and I'm all for that. So let's move down to Skip. Skip, same question. What's your counter programming strategy?
Counter programming. I would say reading a lot of books. Um, just getting not anything too nonfiction. Reading something that's just like a mystery. Right now, I'm reading a thriller called Butter, which is really good.
Oh, okay.
So
What's it
that
about?
helps. Oh my gosh, it's about this. It's about this woman who goes to visit a person in jail. This other woman in jail, and she seduced like a line of men with really good ramen and really good of these delicious meals, and then she kills them or unalives them.
That's based on history. There's
Oh, is it?
there's an Italian woman that's famous for that. She generated many copycats of women who were being abused by their husbands, and they wound up poisoning them.
Wow, get out of
Yeah.
here! I
Are
didn't
you
know.
talking
Yeah,
about with Aqua Tofana?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jessica. What did you say?
Aqua Tofana.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said the author's name. I was like, yeah, that sounds
No,
No,
pretty
that's
cool.
no.
that's the
So,
that's the criminal who
Ah,
well, that
motivated
that
a
was
lot
the
of
name
women
of
to
the
do the same thing.
well, that wasn't the name of the criminal. What it was is
Oh,
she
that was her
posed.
concoction.
Yeah, that was her concoction. She posed as like somebody that would make perfumes or makeups for ladies at the time, and this was like way back in the day. I want to say like 14 or 1500s, and so these ladies would come to her and she would make like a perfume, and it was called aqua tofana, and it was really a poison, and then these ladies would take it home and use it against their no good scoundrels of husbands,
right.
and there was like hundreds of men who perished this way, and I don't she did this for many 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 years before she was ever caught.
Yes,
Wow.
and it was Giulia Tofana who did it
Yeah,
from Palermo,
Wow.
and it was
yeah.
around 1630.
Ah,
So
yes.
yeah,
Yeah, I
like
read
I
about
said,
her
I
a couple
guess.
of years ago, and I was fascinated by that. But yeah, because my second ex-wife is Italian, so anytime I find out Italians doing funky shit, I let her know about it. So
Yeah.
Jessica, let's
So
move to you. What's
yeah.
your counter programming strategy?
um, of course, I live in the heart of the mountains, so lots of nature time. I have several horses, so I go out for a ride. Um, I also, because I'm constantly reading legislation, but I love reading in general. My downtime is to read just complete fiction, like just my little smutty fun books.
Nice.
Um, and yeah, that's nature
Can
and smutty books.
can you recommend a particular smutty book?
It depends on what your brand of smutty is.
Well, what let's go with your brand of smutty. What did what would you what impacted you so much that you would say it's worth the read?
Um, some of them just have like really good smut, but not great storylines. If you want to combine the two, I would say Alchemized by Sinlin Yu is my latest
I
read.
like the title.
Yeah, and it's very fantasy forward. Lighter on the smut, but very fantasy forward.
Is it like centaurs
Great
banging
world
women or
building.
something? What?
No, it is in a think of like things to do with like alchemy and magic and things like
Mm,
that. But in like a war torn society, um, where they're fighting against this like super oppressive type of ruling class. And there's like a war that breaks out. It's a whole thing. Double agents, whole thing. It's great
interesting.
though.
Yeah. I like fiction. I do so much reading about facts that, to relax. I'll like for me, the Foundation trilogy is the best sci-fi book I've ever read. That was Isaac Asimov, who was like, I think he was like the most prolific writer in world history during his time. I don't know if that's still true, but the Foundation trilogy was about a mathematical equation that could predict the future for entire planets. Couldn't do it for individuals, but it could predict the future for entire planets. And it's set 10,000 years in the future. And I remember what was interesting to me about it was that people didn't question if humans came from apes. They questioned if humans came from Earth, because that's how far removed they were
Ooh,
from
interesting.
our history. So I thought it was a real fascinating book. And of course, there's a lot of great sci-fi out there, but that's what I gravitate toward. And also spy novels, which I haven't read one in
Mm.
quite some time, but I do love spy novels. Danny,
I
you'll
don't.
have to unmute yourself. What do you do for relaxation? I mean, I know, but the folks might not know what you do for relaxation. And you have to unmute yourself, Danny. Danny, where'd you go? All right, he probably got a phone call or something like that. Um,
Yoda,
yes,
did you watch Foundation, the Apple show?
no,
Oh, okay. They adapted it to television. Apple has
good,
a
good to know.
yeah,
I don't pay for any subscriptions, but I basically watch whatever I want to watch. So it's called
same here.
Foundation. There it is, 2021. It looks like
Yep.
there's lots of
Yeah,
them.
they
There's lots of them.
reimagined it for TV and it's pretty good. It's
Okay,
I've read the books. It's they're similar. They're pretty yeah, not
rated
super on the
highly.
nose, but
All right,
yeah,
I love the book. I read the book back in like the books back in 85 and 86, and I still think about them from time to time. But I did find the TV show and it's on my queue now. Thank you.
cool. Yeah.
So what else we got? Um oh,
Ooh,
someone said there's a
also.
reason poisonous plants were common as yard decorations for ages. Yeah.
Mhm.
Spy novels sound interesting, but I can never seem to find any good ones. Um I love The Hunt for Red October.
That is a good book.
It's a shitty film, but it's a brilliant book. And the reason for that is that the book takes place mostly in people's minds. It's spies trying to outspy each other, so we're privy to their thought process, and it's fascinating. and also you don't have Sean Connery being a Russian guy with a Welsh accent. So The Hunt for Red October was good. What else did I like as a spy novel? Ninja was good by Eric von Lustbader. That goes back to the 80s also. And being that I'm in martial arts, I gravitated toward those types of books and films. But Ninja, you wouldn't think of Ninja as a spy thing, but it really was a spy novel. So I like that kind of shit.
I also really like and will periodically reread, and I'm not sure what this says about me, but the Hannibal Lecter series. I have all of the
Oh
books.
yeah. Well, I mean, it
Phenomenal.
says about you what it says about everybody, which we're fascinated by the aberrant. You know,
Yeah.
that's why people rubberneck when there's a crash on the highway. They just have this urge to see carnage. You know, and
And
I'm
I
against
will.
it. I never rubberneck. I hate rubberneckers, or I hate rubbernecking, I should say. And we're just fascinated. That's why the song "Jump" from Van Halen
Mm,
was sparked by the fact that David Lee Roth came across a crowd on the street that was looking up at a person standing on the roof, and some of the people in the crowd were screaming "Jump."
wow. Oh, I will also say, like, for as phenomenal as the movies are, the books are 10 times better. Um, because it really goes into like the inner workings of like Hannibal Lecter's mind
Right.
and how he has like what he calls his memory palace. He basically has like a photographic and eidetic memory,
Mm.
and he is able to file everything away in this palace that he has created in his mind so that he can
Oh, that's what the
recall
ancient
anything at
Greeks
any
used to
given time.
do so that they could
Yeah.
tell stories for like 8 hours.
Yeah, and so like it really goes more into the psychology aspect of it, and it's just really fascinating and incredibly well written. I highly recommend it for anyone who hasn't read those books.
Yeah. Well, the whole idea of Lecter is just fascinating because we know he's a real person, not Hannibal himself, not like Dump thinks. But Ed Gein. I don't know if it's Geins or Gynes, but Ed or Gaines. Ed Gaines is the prolific uh, criminal that went around wearing people's skin, and he inspired Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He inspired Psycho, and he inspired the Silence of the Lambs series. So that's how fascinated human beings are with this kind of person because it's so unusual. We've talked about the Iceman, Kuklinski, in the past, and it's they're so far off the charts of normal human behavior that even though we're repulsed by the reality of what they've done, our curiosity is like, how could this happen? How could a person behave this way? And that curiosity gets fed through books and films and TV shows. I mean, we had Mindhunter we talked about recently, right? So yeah, I remember one of my favorite comics ever, Patrice O'Neill, who unfortunately perished in 2011 for the same reason that I'm probably going to go because we just can't stop shoving shit into our face. But he was like a quasi expert on serial, blank blank, serial illers. um, and like you brought up, I used to listen to him on radio shows where they threw up any name from the history of these people, and he knew everything about them. It was
Wow.
wild. But I that's what some people do. They dedicate their life to studying shit like that. You know, I can't imagine what it must be like to like have a job where you go after these guys, because at a
Yeah.
certain point, you're sitting in a room. I mean, you're probably safe because the guy's handcuffed to a table, but you're sitting in a room with a guy that is capable. And I mean, women can do this too, but it's very rare that it happens with women. But a guy that is capable of such heinous, unthinkable violence. And like, what is that feeling of like, like the guy who interviewed Kuklinski?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck was going through that guy's mind?
Yeah, I really like as much as I loved the two different ones with the Iceman, I almost wanted an interview with the interviewers.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
wonder if we could look that up. They probably on the U-shaped tube somewhere.
Probably.
I'll make a
I feel
mental
like
note to do
that's
that.
something we
I'd love
want
to
to.
hear them talk about that because it's just like I could not take my eyes off of those interviews.
Hmm.
Um, I've described this before, so for people who've heard it before, I'll condense it, but forgive me for repeating myself. When Kuklinski said, I watched a video of a man being eaten alive by rats, and I don't understand why it bothered me. I was like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like,
Hmm.
he genuinely didn't understand why that made him feel something. He couldn't even identify the feeling. It just made him feel something, which, suggests that generally he doesn't feel anything, right? Like,
Right.
and it's not just sadness, it's not just revulsion. Like, this is a guy who is essentially bereft of human feelings.
Yeah, because what I found interesting about him too was whereas with other serialers, um, they will have a sense of excitement about their actions, whereas he didn't. He was asked about it many times, and he would even say, "The only thing that gets me excited is mutual gratification with a woman." We'll say. Um,
Okay, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that's he was like that's the only thing that gets me excited. He was like other than that he was like I just don't feel anything about it at all.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Oh, there's Danny.
My son
Okay.
called me.
I figured it
My
was something
son
like
called
that.
me,
I wanted to check.
and then my son brought my Mustang back to the house.
Nice.
So yeah. So anyway, I'm happy. My pony's back in the stable. Anyway, I'll talk about what. Well, you were asking questions about what do I do for alternative news.
No, no, not
Uh,
alternative news. Counter programming to the negativity of news.
oh well, as you know, I love movies. I love TV shows, and I watch a lot of the tube. I do a lot of watching of the tube.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's where I get all my. And plus, I play a lot of music. I love music. So and play Trivial Pursuit. Trivia.
So, do you have as channels, let's say on the tube that like are just pure fun, pure joy?
Uh, yeah, I would say there's well, other than different music ones that I videos that I like watching. I do like to watch cars. I also watch old boxing matches like Muhammad Ali and Frazier and Foreman and Liston. And I saw one that was interesting the other day of John A. Sullivan when he fought James Colbert. It was obviously no sound, but it was an interesting movie to watch him fight back then. Um, I also like watching uh, what they call these courses where they're jumping motorcycles and stuff like that, racing.
Mm.
And so I watch a lot of stuff like that. Other than that, of course, then what news I do get, I get from Midas Touch. and a couple other podcasters, and that's it.
Yeah. I like um I like animal videos.
Me
I
too.
love them. Love
We rate
watching,
dogs.
especially there's I mean, it could be almost anything, but it's all like animals being very kind to one another, adopting other species of
Right,
animals,
right,
protecting children. Like I saw this one recently where there's a dog breed called a Corsica, I think, and these things are enormous. They're like small bears, right? And yet they are so protective of children. It's as if the dogs say, like they usually you'll see them meeting the infant when they come home from the hospital, and it's like
right,
the dog just changes, and it's like, okay, it's my job to make sure you're okay.
Are
And
you
then
talking
that
about a
dog will
Cane?
not leave that child's side. It's wild.
right.
Are you talking about a Cane Corso?
Corso, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, Cane Corso. It's an Italian Mastiff.
Yeah.
Um,
They're
you should check
huge.
out. Yeah, they're massive. My neighbor has one. Really good guardian dogs. That's what they're bred for, is to be a guardian dog. But they're really great with their family.
Hmm.
Um, there's a creator on this app called We Rate Dogs. Phenomenal. It's so uplifting, and it's
Mm,
just really great wholesome things about, like, every week they'll be like, here's the top 5 dogs of the week, and it's like videos that get sent in to them of dogs just being like really kind or doing like really cute
yeah.
shit, and it's
Yeah.
just it's adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I love it when they bring that baby home in the basket and the dog just knows that this is a different thing. And I noticed that when I was a child. I remember I would watch pets with little children and always notice that the pets behave differently with them. Like they just knew that this little thing is fragile. It's doing some weird shit trying to walk on two legs. We don't understand that.
right,
They just had an instinct for it. And so, whenever I just want to zone out, like I'll just sit on my couch, either on my phone, because a lot of these are shorts, so I watch them on my phone. The next thing I know, an hour and a half has gone by, and I've just watched dozens of videos. I also like videos of people doing amazing physical shit.
Hmm.
Whether it's in a sports context or body strength context, acrobatics, whatever it is. And there's this whole series of them uh, that's that they all have the same song behind them. Uh,
right.
um, uh, Welcome to the new that song, and it's every video has the same song backing it, and it's just people doing the most amazing fucking things that I've ever
Right.
seen, and that makes me feel good for whatever reason. It just I like watching that shit.
I
Yep.
really like when people are really, really good at a craft, or like you said, like doing a sport, because you get to watch. For me, it's dancing. Like if I watch dancing videos where people are just executing things on like perfect time and stuff like that, I don't know if it like heals a part of my tism or whatever it does, but
Yeah.
it's just so fun to
Yeah, I
watch.
mean that's why
Yep.
Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers were such huge stars because people loved watching that.
Yeah, Gene Kelly and a few others. Yeah, Debbie Reynolds.
It's weird.
Excellent
I never
dancers.
gravitated toward Gene Kelly because his dance movements were so blocky to me. I liked Fred Astaire because he was so smooth. He made
Right.
everything look so easy. Of course, Gene Kelly was a great dancer. I just never clung on to his style of dance.
So, what
But yeah,
did you think
dancers
of
in
Donald
particular, like the
O'Connor?
Barishnikovs of the world, those are amazing to me.
Right.
You
What do you
know,
think of Donald O'Connor?
same as Gene Kelly.
Okay.
Yeah. There
I really
it was a style of dance that they did. I have no idea what it's called, but it was very it was based on traditional tap dancing kind of stuff, and it was just it never struck me as particularly smooth and graceful. It was skillful for sure. Like I said, I'm not trying to diminish their skill. They were incredibly skillful dancers, but visually it didn't appeal to me.
Okay.
Have you ever seen the Bollywood dancers?
Oh yeah. The thing
Oh
that
my
troubles me
gosh.
is that I can't stand Bollywood music.
Yeah, same.
Because they use a different scale than Americans do, and it just
Yeah.
sounds like glass shattering most of the time, and I just don't find it pleasant. And I know Bollywood is like it's a much bigger industry than Hollywood is. Um,
Yeah.
and when you're big in India, you know you're playing to an audience that's 4 times larger than America. So these people
Right.
are enormous superstars.
Yeah, it's so beautiful to watch. I always there's there's this song that is, I'm not sure if it's just a Bollywood song or if it's just a traditional Indian song, but it is the most beautiful song. I think it might be like a traditional Indian song, but it's the most beautiful work that I've ever seen. It has something to do with the legs bending and the way that the hand movements are very almost like gestury,
Hmm.
but not. I don't want to make it sound like sort of silly because it's not. It's very like, I don't know. It's really beautiful,
Yeah, they have a
especially
very
in
interesting way of
tandem.
expressing themselves through dance, and
Yeah.
the some of the music is extremely interesting. To me, the more recent stuff is stuff that I can enjoy. There's a lot of hip hop artists, especially Punjabi hip hop. I love it. Very
Yeah.
melodic, very different kind of vibe. As a matter of fact, Jay Z sampled a song from India in not Jay Z. I'm sorry. Oh damn, Timbaland. Timbaland sampled a song from India for "More Than a Woman." Song he did with
Who
what the
was that
fuck was her
with?
name?
More
Oh
than a
my god,
woman. That sounds.
Aaliyah. Aaliyah,
Oh yeah. Oh my
who
gosh.
we
Yeah.
lost a month before 9/11 in 2001.
Yeah, that was a
Crazy.
rough year for us. It absolutely,
Yeah,
it felt like Aaliyah and 9/11. I
yeah.
remember that.
Back to back, man.
Yeah. Well, hey, Yoda, thank you for having me up here. I'm gonna drop, but I just wanted to say thanks for having me up
My
and
pleasure. Thanks for coming by and
letting me
contributing. I
talk with you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. And
All right.
Jessica, nice talking with you. And Grandpa, thanks so much.
Of course.
Yeah, have a
All
good
right.
one, young man.
Take care.
You too.
Yeah. I loved Aaliyah's music.
I
And of
did too.
course, a lot of it has to do with Timbaland, but I just thought she was so talented and what a sad day when she went.
Yeah. Have you checked out Hanuman Kind?
No.
He is he's a rapper. He was born in India, and then he and his family came to the US, and he spent a portion of his childhood growing up in, I think, like the Dallas area, and then he went back to India. So he's in India, or was, until, now he's touring and shit. But they're in India, and so he got signed on originally to and was featured, like, where he really blew up was with Def Jam India, for his song Big Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Check that
He
out.
hasn't posted a video on YouTube for 8 months, but
Yeah.
I see Big Dogs is featured on his homepage, so that's cool.
Yeah, and so that's a pretty good one. He's got some really cool music, but you can really hear the, like, the Texas influence, and, like, he even draws a reference to, like, Project Pat and stuff like that. So you can really hear, like, some of those influences in his music. But
What is
you
Project
might
Pat?
Project Pat is was a hip hop artist that was out of Texas back in, like, I think the 80s and 90s.
Oh, interesting. I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever heard of him.
Yeah, one of those hip hoppers or hop hippers.
All right. Oh, Demond is here.
Yeah, he is. He
Demond,
came
if
in
you
the same
feel
time Optimistic came in.
you want to come up, of course, feel free to request up. We're just bullshitting, not talking about. Oh, there's Demond. Damn it, this thing. They put up the notice for people requesting in a whole new spot, and it's so inconvenient. Anyway, what's up, Demond? How you doing?
Hey, yo, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. We're just talking about all sorts of shit, but we spent a bunch of time talking about content that makes us happy to counteract all the negativity out there.
I was listening. I was enjoying, kind of enjoying the conversation.
So
Listening.
you're on the hot seat now. What draws your attention when you want to feel good and feel happy and feel positive and all that good stuff?
So I'm kind of a movie buff. I like to read. Um, so I'm a big on thrillers. A little James Patterson. Also kind of like African American history and literature that has come from like the Harlem Renaissance. Some of the studies that was done about the plays and the Frog Brothers and Red Fox, before they hit, big in TV and stuff. So, well, it was a lot of entertainers that came out of the Harlem Renaissance that I enjoy. Um, yeah, I try. One thing I'm trying to do and do more is not get so caught up into air personalities or cable personalities.
What do you mean?
I felt myself. I was really drawn into the political sphere and with cable personalities. So I was a huge Joy Reid person. I hung on pretty much with everything Rachel Maddow said. I was Anderson Cooper, Don Lemon. I found myself gravitating towards personalities and tried to pull back over the last couple of years to look at more articles and more research,
Well,
more.
what did you find problematic about the personalities?
I I I just didn't want to be so reliant upon their vantage point and having more.
Oh, looks like you cut out a little bit. Are you still there? Oh,
Had a
there you're
call
back.
there came
All right, you're very
came in.
popular, of course. So you said you didn't want to rely on their point of view. Yeah, and I have a practice of not relying on anybody. Like I have I have content creators that I gravitate toward because they've demonstrated capacity to deliver information in a fair way and an honest way, but I still check them. I still will go online and see, okay, is what they're saying true? Are they really covering this correctly? Because I don't want to fall into the trap of creating my own echo chamber.
And I kind of clean it up a little bit. I'm not lumping them all together because each person individual. It just made me sort of, as a whole, kind of reevaluate some stuff.
You don't
Like
owe
for
them an
example,
apology. Fuck them.
like I'll say Anderson Cooper, for example. If you're not careful, you're sucked into the table that they set, the viewpoints that they
Yeah,
set, and they kind of
he's also
flatten all
pretty
the conversation.
performative. I find Rachel Maddow that way too. Very performative. Joy Reid sometimes, most of the time, she's just kind of just spitting facts out. Plus, of course, I'd love to bang her. That would be great. Um, but yeah, no, I totally get that. I totally get that. So you were bold enough to refer to yourself as a film buff or a movie buff. I forget which one you said. I just remembered that you threw in the word buff, and that's a strong word. You're throwing down the gauntlet. So what do you think makes you a movie buff?
Myself, it's kind of like I call myself a foodie, but I'm also not the guy that's going to go spend $300 on a steak just to be able to give a review of a famous
Oh,
steakhouse.
those are two different
So
things completely. Well, you're a foodie in what way?
um, I'm pretty open to what I cuisines that I eat. I've eaten Vietnamese, Indian, um, Moroccan, just in the last maybe 3 months. I work around a very diverse group of workforce, so we're often kind of batting things back and forth and trying new things, even kind of out of my comfort zone a little bit.
I guess.
Those,
See, I don't even know. I honestly don't even know what that means when people talk about food out of their comfort zone. Like, what does that mean? Food is to me, food is food. And like, I mean, I'm a vegetarian, so there's some things I won't eat. But, um, like to me, what you describe sounds like being a New Yorker. You're surrounded by cuisine of the world, and
yeah,
so it's just food. It's just, oh, I feel like this cuisine today. Like to me, there's nothing special about that. But, um, to because I sometimes think that even though you didn't describe it this way, the people that describe themselves as foodies very often come off as pretentious because it's like, oh, so okay, you like to eat. What's so special about that? You know? But
I think I would parse I get what you're saying. You ever seen that movie, The Menu?
I don't think so.
It's a good movie.
It's
Rape
pretty
Fiennes.
good. You seen it, Jessica?
Yes, Ray Fiennes is in it. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's it's really good. But that's where I kind of draw the line. I'm not that guy. If you see that movie, there he's essentially like real pretentious, and he rates everything. He's got these cards, his system that he rates on. One of the characters, at least, and the chef is actually kind of taken back because these people have kind of lost the joy of food or lost the joy of just experiencing a meal. And I think I'm more on the other side where I still that's the foodie that I'm referencing, is that I get excited and to try new things within reason. Like I'm not eating an octopus, but
Why not?
we've had major conversations.
It's really good if it's good.
But why? See, this is what I don't understand. Do you eat other seafood?
Well, one, you're in New
Hold
York.
on,
You
hold
said
on,
that
hold on. Let's
Mhm.
get simple here. Do you eat other seafood?
I do,
Okay,
I
so
do
why do you draw the
quite a
line at
bit.
octopus?
I don't the squirming, right? Because
It doesn't
the
squirm in your
squirm.
fucking mouth, dude.
Well, this is you. Have you ever been to those hot pots places where you drop it into the pot and then it boils into the? Even when they take it out, it still's kind of
You ain't never
the.
had crawfish?
Okay, so
Well, I love
you don't so
crawfish.
what you're saying is you don't like live food that's still moving around. I understand that, but you can you can eat octopus. Italians eat octopus all the time. That's really perished for a long time. It's not moving at all, you
Yes,
know. They call it I
I
think
love
scungile,
crawfish.
scungili,
What is it?
scungili. There's octopus and then there's something else and there's squid. One is scungile, one is something else. I forget what they call it, but I mean, and again, look, I have no horse in this race. I don't give a fuck what you eat, but it just doesn't make sense to me to just say, oh, I don't want to like 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 meat eaters eat dead animals all the time, so I don't understand where the distinctions that they draw or like
Well,
the judgments
it's
that
a
they have. Oh, in this country they eat dog. Okay, you eat babies. You eat baby cows. You call it veal, but it's a fucking baby.
Yeah. I for me, I don't eat duck, and I don't. But it's because of a flavor thing. I don't like how gamey it is. And for me, like I don't eat most seafood simply because I don't enjoy it.
Right, but the only way you figured that out is to try it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that even if I've tried it before and I really didn't like it, like I'll still try it again multiple times to make sure, because tastes change over time,
Right. Right.
or maybe it's prepared a different way. And so I am constantly trying things even if I think that I'm not going to like it, because who knows, I could end up liking it this time. But there are some things that just have stuck with me, like Brussels sprouts. Fucking hate them. Fucking hate them. I think, to me, Brussels sprouts taste like how a fart smells.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
I've
Oh
heard other
wow.
people describe it the same way, and yeah,
Yeah.
that's so funny. Um, hey, listen,
And
on
I love
That's
paper,
Brussels sprout.
embarrassing.
jamming your face between a woman's legs is a wild idea, but some of us really love
It's a
doing that
great
shit.
time.
Gravedigger's here. What's up, Gravedigger?
It was a big
Now,
joke.
listen, I've been lucky. I've had only a couple of bad incidents doing that. But I could see if you start off the wrong way on that, I could see having an aversion to it.
Well, you know why God put that where He put it, don't you? I couldn't believe it either because why would you put a lunchbox by a shit house?
Yeah, that's an old joke. The playground next to the dump. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
why would you do that?
Look, the human body is a very strange design. I mean, I'm impressed by the fact that women have one extra hole that men do, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it's hard to understand the how this all came together. Um, I was watching Ryan Gosling talk about his new film Hail Mary,
Mm.
and which I have access to it, but I'm waiting till it's high def before I watch it. And he said, people talk about going to space, but they forget that we're already in space. I was like,
Mhm.
yep, that's true. That's true.
That is true.
We're hurtling through space and somehow the Earth's rotation doesn't throw us all off. I mean, I don't understand how that works, but we're
No,
just we're
gravitativity.
we're shooting through the cosmos at an alarming rate, and nobody thinks about that. It's like when people say, "I like going out into nature." I'm like, "You're always in nature. No matter where
Yep,
you are, you're in nature."
yep.
Yeah.
And I know what they mean, but I like being a dick sometimes.
And you're good at it.
I am. I am. I excel at it because, sarcasm is like a second language to me.
Yeah.
Now, if we can, back to these Brussels sprouts.
I'm great at cooking them.
No,
I
but they do
get,
smell like farts. I agree.
they do. And like,
Do they?
yeah,
But they
yeah, to
taste
me they
good.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I'm great at cooking them. Every family get together we have, they ask me to make Brussels sprouts along with a whole host of other shit. Because there are a few areas I will pat myself on the back for, but my cooking is one of them. I am a damn good cook.
There you go.
Um, but I just hate the fucking taste of some of the shit that I cook. But
That's
everyone
funny.
else seems to enjoy it.
You know what I could never cling on to. I had an Italian girlfriend. We were together for over 4 years, and she tried 3 times to get me to like marinated artichoke hearts. And
Mm,
I'm sorry, just artichokes. I actually like marinated artichoke hearts, but I don't like artichokes. And
yeah,
she
I'm
did
the
them
same
up.
way.
She did the whole garlic and oil and the whole thing.
Mhm.
And I'm scraping them on my teeth. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with this. This doesn't make any sense to me. And it didn't taste great to me. She tried 3 times, and I indulged her the second 2 times because generally speaking, if I taste something and I don't like it, I'm done. I don't believe in acquired taste. That's just another way of saying you force yourself to like something that's unpleasant. So I just don't do that. But yeah, she tried 3 fucking times, and I'm like, okay, now that we've done this 3 times, don't ever ask me again to eat this shit. It's not happening.
Yeah. For me, there's my tastes have changed in a lot of ways. Like I used to hate asparagus, now love it, top tier.
Mm,
Um, and there's a few other things too. Most veggies I was always pretty solid on. But like, and of course you're a vegetarian, so you're not going to relate to this, but certain types of meat I hated completely, wouldn't even touch them. And now as I get older, as long as I'm cooking it, I can do it.
mm.
But mm,
Yeah, and when it comes to vegetables, I found that it's kind of ironic that I'm a vegetarian because I never used to like vegetables as a child. But what I realized was it was the American way of doing vegetables, which was basically to
mm,
just boil them.
yeah,
You know,
I can't
which
do
is
that.
like the worst way to prepare them. You
Yeah,
know, and if
I
you're
do a
gonna
lot of
boil, if
sauteing.
you're gonna boil them or parboil them, then have a light touch. Don't when the color drains out of it, you've overdone it. You know.
Yeah, I do a lot of braising, roasting, and sauteing of my veggies.
Yeah. Yeah. Since I encountered so many Italians in my lifetime, for a while, for 11 years, they were my next door neighbors, and um, we were there very often exchanging food and all that shit. So I've known authentic Italian food for a long time,
Mm,
and to me, the way Italians make most vegetables is one of the best ways to make them.
yeah, I love cooking Italian dishes
They're
and
so
looking up.
easy, but they're so good.
Yeah, and I always look up like good, authentic Italian recipes because I don't want some like Olive Garden bullshit.
Oh,
Ugh, yeah.
a
So
fucking
like,
abomination, man. God.
yeah, when my
It's
and
one of
like,
my favorite restaurants. One
So
of them.
so here's
I'm
the
so
thing, Damon.
sorry.
Now that you've said that, don't you ever in my presence again call yourself a foodie. Fuck you.
Oh, I literally said it was one of my favorite restaurants. I was broke, man. I was in college. I was a broke
I
kid.
don't give a fuck.
You could get like free breadsticks, salad. I mean, it was
Whatever.
like $21.
But call it just don't promote it like Italian food. That's all I'm saying. Right? Because it's not Italian food. You're using shit that looks like Italian food, but you don't know how to prepare it. You
Yeah,
put a ton of salt in everything because Americans are just fat and lazy and they love the taste of salt.
And butter.
It's awful. It's
And butter.
awful.
You ever see that tour of Italy? It was called the tour of Italy.
mm-mm.
No, no. it
Is
was
it
a
part of what's in the restaurant?
yes. It was their version
They call it a
of
tour of Italy.
the.
That's it. It sounds offensive, quite frankly.
If it includes Alfredo, they're immediately fired because Alfredo isn't even an actual Italian
Right.
dish. I
But
think that's
that's another
hilarious.
thing. The Italian food in Italy is vastly different than the Italian food in America
Yes.
because you got to remember that New York is the gateway to Italian food, right? That's where Italians landed first in America, and it was mostly peasants that were coming here to escape the conditions that they had in Italy, and they brought peasant food with them. That's where all the
Like a
bread
good
and cheese comes
pastina.
from. They don't do that in Italy. They don't eat like that in Italy.
And I still like to this day, whenever I or my son is sick, like I'm whipping up some pastina. Oh,
There you go.
oh, so good. It's so
Yeah.
good. There's just so many like I don't know for me Italian food, like good authentic Italian food, is almost like warming to the soul
Yeah.
in a way.
Italians know how to eat, man. Like when my ex-wife tells me about her trip to Italy, and she said like for an appetizer, for instance, they're not putting out bread because pasta's already a carb. They're not stupid enough in Italy to put a carb with a carb, right?
Right.
So they'll put out cherry tomatoes as an appetizer. Just a bowl of cherry tomatoes with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt, and you have a delicious first plate. I don't even understand the concept of appetizers because eating food doesn't make me more hungry. It makes me less hungry. So just of whatever first course as something simple like cherry tomatoes. That's like a very healthy way to start a meal. And then and even the pasta that they have there is not the same as the pasta in America because they use heirloom wheat, which is a different kind of wheat altogether and way healthier than the bullshit Durham wheat that we use here.
And I think which cherry tomatoes are like my number one go to favorites, like just snack of all time. Um, and I find I don't know, maybe it's I don't know if it's just a southern thing or if this is just like a depending on the environment you grow up in, but like here in the South at least, like how you show love is surrounded by food and cooking. Like if you
That's
want to
pretty
show care,
universal as far as I
yeah.
could tell.
And so like and especially here like vegetables are a huge thing because everyone gardens, right? And so even if there's stuff like it wasn't until maybe 2 years ago I started liking like yellow squash,
Mm.
but I always grew it every year because it's one of the easiest things to grow and you can grow a lot of it. And then you just give it away to people. Like, here you go, I grew some squash,
Yeah,
have some.
there you go. I
Um,
love butternut squash soup. Oh my god,
oh, yeah, I
so
make a good
spectacular.
butternut squash soup. I also really like spaghetti squash. Didn't
Spaghetti
start liking
squash is
that until
brilliant.
this year. Yeah.
Spaghetti
I
squash is
haven't made that
amazing.
in a long fucking time. I gotta go out tomorrow and buy that. I have
One of
not.
the
I
things
God, I used to eat spaghetti squash every few months, and I haven't done it in years.
One of my favorite ways to eat spaghetti squash is to make almost like you're making a bolognese, but just make the sauce for a bolognese and then put it in the spaghetti squash and
Yeah.
eat it that way with,
Oh
oh,
yeah. Well,
so
whatever
good.
sauce you like, throw it in the spaghetti squash. It'll be fine. It'll taste
Yeah,
fantastic. Yeah.
love
Top it
it.
with about a half a pound of shrimp, and
But
away you
I
go.
I don't do shrimp.
let me
I
tell you
don't
something.
season the
If I
shrimp
was a
thing.
Christian, I would have to go to your house and hit you over the head with a rock.
I
You are
which is
you are
interesting.
breaking God's laws.
I don't like shrimp and I don't like lobster, but I love crawfish.
Mm, interesting.
I mean,
You know,
that's the
lobster was
poor
so
man's lobster.
abundant. Yeah, lobster used to be fed to prisoners.
Yeah.
Mud
Yeah,
bugs.
they were like considered the insects of the ocean.
Yeah.
It was so cheap and it was everywhere. And then I guess somehow they decided that it was going to be a delicacy.
Well, and that's
And
how
they,
it is. That's how it is with like catfish. Like now you go to like all these fish places and it's like catfish is on the menu, but used to, it was really looked down on because they're bottom feeders, right?
Mm,
They're considered like a dirty fish. So
right.
it was almost primarily like a poor Southern thing. But I guess people got a taste for it because we can fry that shit up and make it taste fucking delicious.
yeah.
And now it's just a thing.
Let me tell you, man, frying cures almost everything. Like I don't deep fry anything. I saute everything, but like to me, like if you have garlic, really good olive oil, and sea salt, you are good to go. You can make almost anything with those three ingredients.
My go to is to saute things, or to roast or braise them, but
Hmm.
there are some things that you gotta fry, and
Sure.
catfish is one of them.
Yeah. And yeah, you could honestly fry just about everything and it's going to be good.
I've, yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of shit that are fried that I personally don't think should be fried, that I refuse to try. Like, of course, here in the South, we have our fairs and shit, and you find like deep fried Oreos and
Yeah.
Twinkies.
No, that's just
People,
disgusting. No,
right? I refuse. I
that's
refuse.
Americans being too gluttonous.
I refuse to even
Fried
try it.
Coke.
Yeah, fried
I've seen
Coca-Cola. That's
I've
disgusting.
seen fried butter. I don't
Yeah,
know how somebody fries a stick of butter, but I've seen it done.
yeah.
Yep.
Um, and
I've seen
to me,
people fry all sorts of shit, but I mean frying real food.
yeah, I refuse to even try some scandalous shit like that. That's just over the
Yeah,
top to
no, that's
me.
not.
you,
To me, that's literally not food. Like like a Twinkie. And look, obviously, as a fat guy, I love all the candy, but it's not food. That's
a
that's
shelf
just, that's
stable.
just shit. That's shit I eat to escape my life.
See, I don't
Twinkies
like
are
Twinkies as it is.
Yeah,
Twinkies are shelf
Twinkies used to
stable,
be
so
much better. They changed the formula because everything, it's more expensive to make it the old way. So they use all mostly chemicals now, and it tastes like shit.
I don't know. I'm not a sweets person.
Oh, I wish I
Um,
could say that.
oh my goodness. Yep.
I don't keep sweets in my house at all. I don't keep candy. I don't keep really any desserts unless it's something that I just want to bake that day and I'm like, okay, like I'll make like a coffee cake or something like that or something kind of light, but occasionally like cuz I have a 7-year-old boy. So, occasionally I'm going to make him some cookies or some shit like that. But other than that, like I don't really do sweets. It's just not my thing. I'd
I
rather
wish I could
snack
say
on
the
like some
same. I mean,
broccoli
I could
or
honestly say
tomatoes.
I don't keep sweets in the house because what I do is I buy them and I eat them. I don't keep them. And there are
Eat.
times when I think to myself, like I'll buy, let's say, a box of Little Debbie's, right? Which is just diabetes
That's
express,
the
right?
worst. Yeah,
Of
that's the
course it is,
worst.
but it's also the best, right? So I'll buy a box and I'll think, all right, I'll eat two of them today because there'll be like, let's say, 6 or 8 in a box. I'll eat two a day, and it's a lie every time. It is. I am lying to myself every fucking time I say that, and I have it. They're gone in the same night.
I take it back that I do have two weaknesses when it comes to processed sweets. And that is around Christmas time when they come out with the little Hostess Christmas trees. You know what I'm talking
Oh
about? The
yeah,
little
yeah, yeah,
Christmas
yeah,
tree
yeah.
cakes. Those and Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies. And I
Oh
keep them
yeah,
in my freezer.
those are
They're better out of
fantastic.
the freezer.
Those
Those are like
sound
my
There
number
is
very.
one.
there is a cookie that only comes out once a year, I believe, around Thanksgiving. It is the most sinister confection I've ever experienced in my life. It is the equivalent of crack. It's white fudge covered Oreos. If you've never
Oh yeah,
seen them,
yeah.
stay away. Don't look for them because once you have one, you will sell a kidney to buy another one. It's
I'm gonna take your
it
word
is the
for it.
most addictive fucking confection I've ever eaten.
I see. I don't like fudge and I don't like white chocolate, so I'm out. I'll take your word
Fair
for it,
enough.
though.
Fair enough. All I know is that I found them coincidentally. I was in a supermarket in Queens and I found them, and once I had them, like I ran home to share them with my son, which was abusive. I should have never done this. The worst thing I've ever done to him. But for years, we would wait till fucking Thanksgiving to find these fucking cookies, and thank goodness they only put them out once a year. It's like those Cadbury eggs.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Cadbury eggs is like the real low rent kind of candy, but it's so delicious. I love those fucking things. It really is shocking that I've lived as long as I have. I abuse myself with food so often.
But if you ever here recently go down the aisle, say at Walmart, and just look at the litany of different flavors of Oreos,
Well, you won't you
it's
won't
gotten out of
catch you won't
control.
catch me in a Walmart.
Oh, okay, okay. It's gotten out of control.
Yeah.
It's gotten out of control. There are so many flavors of Oreos now.
Yeah, none of the I'm not in any of the big box retailers. The only big box retailer that I would go into is Costco because they're actually a decent company. But
Mhm.
there's no reason for me to go to Costco. I don't have a family to shop for. But yeah, those Walmart, Kmart, Target, you won't catch me in those.
I
As
would
as
typically,
David Chappelle said, they're filled with poor whites.
you're not wrong. I would also typically agree. If I had other options, I would, but I live in a teeny tiny town
Yeah.
where the
Hey,
only
listen,
option
no
to shop
option,
is a
no options,
Walmart.
right? I mean, you
Yeah,
can't, if you don't have, I'm lucky that where I am, I have, and what I really enjoy is that I have a lot of mom and pop options.
yeah.
That's where I really like to shop.
Well,
We don't have.
that's the big, sort of black eye I think that Walmart should have is how they just destroy mom and pop stores in some of the rural areas.
Yeah.
They
And
just
all
they
of their
come in and just
employees are on
undersell it.
welfare because they don't pay them enough,
Right, right.
you know?
They will intentionally come into a community and mark down their prices to undersell the mom and pop stores so they can't keep up. Then when they
And
go
they
out of
get
business, then they
government
bring the prices
subsidies.
up.
It's horrifying. They get tax breaks, all this shit. That I could go on and on about that shit. I hate that whole situation.
Yeah,
And
we've
the Walton
diversified a
family, ever since Sam Walton passed away and left it to his family, it's just become the evil empire.
I saw
absolutely.
recently here in the news, the his daughter, I believe, is now the head of it. She's been recently in the news for donating like so many millions of dollars in a basically an anti-Trump campaign, and to speak out against
Oh, now
the
they're
frozen
anti-Trump.
water, the frozen water people.
Hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, that's great and all, but it also doesn't counterbalance all of the evil shit that
Yeah,
results from Walmart,
yeah. I mean, it's like
So,
indentured servitude. The way they treat
yeah,
employees there, they purposely stiff them on hours so that they don't have to give them benefits, and they part of their orientation is to learn how to get food stamps and other stuff, and so it's we who are paying for the Walton family to be on the Forbes list every year.
Each of them,
Each of them, yeah,
each of them.
each individual. And they were, as soon as Sam passed away, he left each of his children $500 million. They were on the list, and his wife I think got the same or more. But then they decided to, because he was a decent man and he was an innovator. A lot of the way retail is now came from him. And he was a humble guy by all accounts, decent guy, drove an old red pickup, got a $2 haircut in the same place he had always gotten his haircut, was a very unassuming man. He just happened to be a brilliant businessman, but he treated people right, and his family is the exact opposite.
yeah,
They all live on
and
compounds, they all fly private jets, and they fuck over their employees.
yeah, and like I've what's crazy too is though seeing them, because you would think that you would never see them in their own establishments, but you do surprisingly, because they're here in Bentonville, which is not. I think it's about maybe an hour and a half away from where I live. And it's not entirely uncommon to go into, which Bentonville here in Arkansas is a pretty affluent town, but it's not uncommon to like go into the Walmart in Bentonville and see members of the Walton family in there. Um, but they all kind of have the that air about them, and it's just they try to make themselves seem like the common man, but they fail at it pretty
Yes.
spectacularly.
Yeah, just look at an aerial photo of one of their compounds, and you see they're not the common man. Wild shit.
Definitely not.
And look, and I don't. begrudge people for shopping there if they don't have the option not to. That some people have to. They because they don't make enough money. They have to shop these places, and that'll always be true. And I'll never judge anybody for that. But if people have the option, and it like obviously you don't want to get crazy. Like I've looked at alternatives for Amazon several times, and it's like I'm willing to pay a little bit more, but at a certain point, it's like, okay, I'm really hurting myself here if I shop somewhere else. So I'm stuck with Amazon, but I try to go, I try to buy used, like a lot of the equipment lately that I've been buying, including this microphone, is used. Because electronics, unless you batter them, they're going to work for decades. you know. But and I could be like, well, let me be safe and buy it new from whatever. But like with this mic, shit, if I remember correctly, I saved myself $92 buying it used, and it works perfectly. So
Yeah. When you can get a good deal, get a good deal.
yeah, yeah. But if I can't, if I choose to go to mom and pops and that kind of stuff, again, I don't mind paying like 10% more to
Yeah.
support a local business person, but and I'm lucky I have the choice. But if some people don't, for some people that 10% is outside their budget, and I totally get that. So and it ain't always 10%. Sometimes it's way more than that. So and that's what these
Yeah.
big box retailers do. They stiff everybody. They stiff their suppliers. Like some people think, ooh, if I sell something through Walmart or Kmart or something, I'll be rich. Not necessarily. I've known people that had stuff on who was it, Walmart's store shelves, and they were like, I barely make anything per unit. I just hope that it increases in volume. That's it. Because if it's per unit, you're pretty screwed. Because they chisel you down all the way. I mean, that's why they've got people in India brushing their teeth with fireplace ash because they're so poor. And I'm not making that up.
Yeah, I've actually had a conversation with my kids about that when they were starting to buy electronics and stuff. They were like, "Well, Dad, you can get this TV. It was $2.99 at Walmart." And I would take them and show them that because they're nickel and diming the companies, then what they do is that they will make a model for Walmart. And then if you go and you kind of look at that model and kind of contrast it with some of the other products that say
You
in the
you
Best
can't shop
Buy,
it. You can't compare it.
yeah, they don't have as many features or the resolution in where it needs to be, stuff like that, and the refresh rates. So the companies are like, yeah, we'll make you a TV that you can sell for $2.98, but it's not going to have the amenities.
True. And that's what I shop for. When I bought my first mic, I didn't have I didn't have any extra money. This was going back to 2020, and I did what everybody does when they start a podcast. I was like, "What mic does Joe Rogan use?" Right, and that's a thing. That's a thing in the podcast world. Like everybody just understands that the first thing that you're going to do is check and see what Joe Rogan uses, right? And I looked at the mic; it was $400, and I'm like, "Yeah, there's no way I'm spending $400 for a mic for some project that might never go anywhere." And so I looked at the specs of the mic, and then I started looking for those specs elsewhere, and I found it in a mic that cost $70. Some knockoff from another country, and you know, it worked well, and the $70 included the mic arm. So I was very happy. But yeah, and that's the thing where I want to be an educated consumer. I don't want to just follow trends. Oh, let's use the mic everybody like. This is the first name brand mic I ever bought. And I paid more for it than I have any other mic, but I saved a lot of money because I bought it used because I was like, all right, I know that these mics will last 75 years. So just because it's used doesn't mean anything, you know? So why not save the money where you can? You got to, I think, especially with electronics, you got to be smart, you know? And a lot of people are just like, oh, I'm going to go use what Joe Rogan used. Okay. You're going to spend $2,000 for a podcast that no one's ever going to see,
Right.
you know?
Does
And
it
it's
does
not
it almost
necessary. It's not
become
going
a
to make your
status symbol?
podcast better either. You know, your mic isn't like if your sound is bad, that's going to affect your podcast. But if you're audible and it's a fairly pleasant sound, no one's going to care what mic you're using. You know, it's something that I was told when I got into sales. They say you got to wear a suit so they don't notice your clothing. You know, you want them to pay attention to you, not what you're wearing. So wear a suit and then no one's paying attention to what you're wearing.
Do you remember? Do you know what type mic Rush Limbaugh was using? That gold one that he had.
No,
Um,
I never watched Rush. I could see if I could find a photo of it. I might be able to tell you. He was just such a despicable human being.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I agree. He made a big deal out of it once he put it on, and it was like what do you call it? Like he anointed himself the mouth, right? The conservative voice.
I mean, I'm seeing him in front of a lot of mics. It's a typical dynamic mic. So, I mean, if you're using a dynamic mic, like this is a dynamic mic, and there's so few differences between dynamic mics. They can tweak the circuitry to emphasize low, middle, high, or something like that. But whatever mic he was using, it wasn't special. He just, you know, there's you can buy mics that are $30,000, just the microphone, right? Um, but if you don't know how to use that mic, you're still going to sound like shit. Lady Gaga made a video during the lockdown where she had a vintage mic in front of her. It was the Neumann U47, and it was a vintage unit, $30,000, and she was singing into the wrong end of it because the you know those mics you sing into the side of the mic. Like this one is the top of the mic. Those you sing into the side, but it's only one side that captures the audio. She was singing into the wrong side. So what good is her $30,000 mic?
You know, Damon, I might expect that Rush Limbaugh, being the cheap bastard that he was, probably had a cheap mic and took it down to Earl's Tribe and had it painted gold for
I
$29.95. I'll paint any car. That's Earl's
I could
Tribe. I
see. I
believe
could
it.
definitely believe that. I believe that.
Oh, you know what? Okay, so now I'm looking at his gold mic. Guess what? It's this mic. This and there's two versions of this mic, right? This is an Electro Voice RE320, and they also make the RE20. The RE20 is the one that's mostly in radio stations because it has a couple of other options that this one doesn't have. But this is it's the same mic that I have in gold. So what? It don't sound any different. It's just designed to pick up fucking sound. That's it. So he was just being a douchebag by painting it gold.
Well, my 39.95 might sound just fine. Heck,
Yeah, it
clip when I
depends.
use
Like,
it.
you know, so here's the thing. The question comes down to like because people send me messages uh several times a year this happens. Someone's like, "Oh, I'm going to start a podcast. What mic should I use?" And my question is always Well, my response is usually it depends. What are you doing? How are you doing it? Do you have a deep voice? Do you have a high voice? Do you have a raspy voice? Uh, you know, do you pronounce vowel sounds in a weird way? I it's microphones are intended for one thing, and that is to capture sound. They're not here to make you sound good. They're just here to transfer your voice electronically. And if you're not doing anything serious, there's no reason to spend a lot of money on microphones. And I've seen people, like the classic Neumann U87 that most singers sing into. Almost every time you see a video of a singer in a booth singing into a microphone, they're going to be singing into an upside down Neumann U87. All right. Frank Sinatra sang into a U47 from Neumann. Um, the Beatles used a U47. But there are mics with similar circuitry that sound almost the same. So why are you going to spend $3,000 on let's say a Neumann U87 when you can find the same mic for $500, which is also a lot of money to spend on a mic, but certainly not 3,000.
Yep.
I mean, Danny, if you were doing, let's say you decided that you wanted to put videos up on a different platform, I would suggest a new mic for you. For
Sure.
just for
Makes sense.
just TikTok, your mic is fine. But if it's a video on a video platform, it's not adequate for that. It doesn't sound good enough for that kind of thing. But like other like why would you need a better mic? Like literally the mic that excuse me, the mic that came with your mixer
Right.
is the cheapest mic available. Like
I
that
know.
that
That's
mic
why
is
I
like a
said.
$15 mic, right?
Oh, okay. I had a $15 mic. I have a
Yeah.
$15 mic.
Yeah, but it's a fucking microphone. So it does
Right.
what microphones are supposed to do, which is capture your voice and turn it digital. That's it.
Right.
We can hear you, but if once you get onto a different platform, that mic would sound very, very tinny and very thin. And that's not what we're used to when we're watching someone on different platforms.
Like on the
So that's why I
tube or
ask a
something
bunch of
like that.
questions when people ask me about mics. What were you going to say?
Like what if I decided to go ahead and go live on the tube, I need something a little
Yeah,
better.
you would want something that carried your voice better, because otherwise it's
Right.
just not. Because like there's studies on this. If your video doesn't sound good, people will switch off.
Sure.
And I've seen people with content that I want to watch, but they'll buy the standard mic, but they don't know how to set it. They don't know
Right.
they don't know how to use it. They might be too close to it, or they might set the volume too high, otherwise known as the gain, and
Right.
they might sound very buzzy or screechy, and they just don't know how to use the mic because different mics get used different ways. So
Right.
but otherwise, if it's if you're just doing small screen stuff, like most people are consuming TikTok on their phone, so and maybe they have earbuds that they're using to listen, right? Like everything I do, I tune to earbuds because I know that's how most people are listening to me.
Right.
If I was gonna tune my mic for a stadium, it would be tuned completely different.
Makes
So
sense.
it's all
Yep.
just, it's not stuff that most people ever have to think of, but if you're going to be a real content creator, then you have to start thinking about shit like that.
Yep.
And the only advice that I have for people is don't believe the hype. All these, you got to use this brand name and this brand name. No, you don't.
No.
Most of my mics are under $100.
One of the many reasons I could never be a content creator is because all of this shit is going clear over my head.
Yeah,
I am
and you
I'm
don't
not
need to
tech
know it.
savvy
Like, I never
whatsoever.
needed to know anything about microphones until I got on and I started making videos and I was like, "Oh, this doesn't sound like other videos that I watch." And so I had to start learning to, get my voice to the place where it was pleasant. It was all from necessity, and now I'm a fucking audio geek, and that's fine, you know.
Hey, it
But
works
I've
for
saved
you.
myself thousands of dollars. That's all I know. Like like I just bought a new interface for this microphone, and it retails for $500. I got it for $219, including tax and delivery, because I bought it used. Right. So I saved myself something like $330 buying it used. And I'm like, all right, that makes sense to me. But if you don't know these things, you're just like, oh, well, I guess I gotta buy it here because that's what everybody says.
Danny, how did your music night go the other night?
It went good. I've been getting some good reviews so far from people I've talked to and asked, and everybody said my mixer sound, the music
Good.
sounded good coming through to
Good.
everybody. So
Did you return
Good.
that other bullshit mixer?
no, I have not yet.
How come?
I just haven't done it yet.
Get
I had to
on
go
it,
to the doctor
soldier.
the other day.
Get rid of that
Yeah,
piece of
well,
shit.
I'm being lazy, like by a younger
No, I know
brother.
you've had stuff to do. Um, but yeah, no, I actually that same piece of equipment that I had to reorder it because I ordered it, it came in and it was a dud. I assumed the guy had it because and it was much cheaper than everybody else was selling it for. So I was like, either this guy doesn't know what he has or it might be a dud. He obviously has had it sitting on a shelf for a while and not using it because I tried everywhere I could to bring it to life and it didn't work. So I had to send it back. But I ordered from another guy and hopefully that'll be here in a few days.
Well, that'll be good. That'll be
Hey, Rev
good.
is
Anyway,
here.
I'll
What's
be
up,
on
Rev?
tomorrow. So
That's right. You have your gospel thing tomorrow.
yeah, gospel hour tomorrow, and then I'm back on Monday with. I already got over 30 songs for Monday already. Request
Oh, nice.
four of them are demands that he didn't hear when the other day, so I put them back on my program for Monday. Demand.
Very good.
I
So
My clock.
I
That's over there.
I can't stand gospel music, but that's how much I love Danny. I still tune in to his gospel show on Sundays.
Well, mine ain't typical gospel too. You gotta admit it's a little bit more country. It's not
It all sounds like the same shit to me.
okay.
Yeah, I intended to show up to your live the other night for your music show, but I ended up being otherwise occupied, so I do apologize for not making it, but I hope to be there on Monday.
Does anyone
Well, it'd be
else
nice
assume
if we
that
did.
Jessica's talking about getting banged?
I was,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, I was.
yeah. Well, hey, that takes priority. When you're
I
in the
cracked
liquor
that code
cabinet,
immediately.
you don't have to leave the liquor cabinet, Jessica, to come to one of my lives. Okay, you go for it,
Well,
baby.
in all fairness, I wasn't even in a liquor cabinet. My um person is actually a guy
Yeah,
this
Oh,
time.
yeah.
That's
that's
surprising, I
good.
know.
So you got your plumbing checked.
So
That's
she went to
great.
Pound
That's good.
Town.
She went
Oh,
nuts. She got her
I
plumbing checked. Rotor Rooter
listen. I got
showed up.
I got my back cracked like a glow stick.
There
It
you
was
go.
great.
What did Ice Cube say? Just call me a plumber at the end of the night because N word like me will lay plenty of pipe.
That's right.
There's an old joke about that. I laid
Oh,
a mile of plumbing 6 inches at a time.
she got her chem light popped a couple of times.
Well, good for you. Nobody will argue that choice.
Yeah.
No.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
All right, folks, look at that. We've been here 2 hours, and
Hi, Rev.
no surprise, I am hungry. So we're going to
Of
wrap it
course you
up.
are.
Let's start with final thoughts. If anyone has any, let's start with Demond up top. Any final thoughts for the evening?
Final thoughts. Danny, thank you for playing Mesa. I will tune in tomorrow and catch every one of them. Or Monday, sorry, Monday, and catch every song that you play. I can and listen to some good music.
But you're going to tune in tomorrow also, right?
I didn't put in a request. You know what? I
I don't
can.
give a fuck about your selfish request. It's Danny's show. Show up and
my
listen to
mu-
Danny's show.
my music makes the show. It's the best music. I pick the
Oh
best
man,
music,
you are
Well,
causing
tomorrow
problems,
is
Demond. I
and
gospel
don't like what
hour.
and
you're
I'm
saying.
humble. And I'm humble. I'm very humble.
Gospel hour is tomorrow, not Mesa tomorrow. It's gospel hour.
Ah, okay.
All
Um,
right. Well, I expect you to be there. That's all I'm going to say.
Of course, they may play Mesa in his church. I'm not sure how that works.
The Church of Demon get tax breaks
Yeah.
all over the place.
Ah,
Tell you
I've actually
what I
thought about starting a church. Like not as a joke, like as a hustle because it's just paperwork. It's actually very easy to start one. You know, it's a lot of paperwork and you have to do it correctly, but you know, it's not it's a pretty low barrier to entry to start a church.
yeah, I think the hardest part about it is getting the tax exemption.
Yeah, the and also the 501c3 status is hard to maintain. Like you have to be very good with your books and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you can do it. You can
You
do
know,
it.
Rev down there in the chat's a ordained minister.
I'm
Rev
ordained
down there.
also.
Yeah,
I
so
am
there you
too.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That took
I
me
got
15
ordained
minutes
online.
online back in fucking 2006.
Yeah, I
I
did it
still carry
online
my card
too.
in my wallet.
I don't know where mine is, but I got ordained specifically just so I could officiate one of my friend's weddings
Yeah.
back in the day. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was fun. I
Uh,
performed 3 weddings. They were all fun. And 2 of them were legal where I signed off on the paperwork. One of them was just the first one was just ceremonial. But I got
And
ordained
I'll be
anyway
your
just as a
first,
goof.
and I'll be a new first for you too,
What do you mean?
officiating over my
Oh,
final service.
yeah. Yeah, well, that'll be 50 years from now, so I'm not thinking about that.
That's true. That's
Well,
why we said we also.
Peter Thiel and Elon are gene hacking, so you get
Or
some of
what?
their gene hacking
Oh,
genomics. They wanna
whatever.
extend people's life to 150 years. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want his shit in my goddamn bloodstream at all, boy.
Peter
Danny,
Thiel's
I'm gonna
already
need
half
you to
lizard, so I don't even know what he's worried about.
I'm gonna need you
Let's-
to outlive all of us, Danny, because I don't know what any of us would do on here without you. So you just outlive all of us. Just hang in there.
That's what I've
I'm
been
trying.
stressing this very thing for over a year now. I'm like, please stop talking about going away. It just doesn't work for me.
Plus, on top of that, you guys be bored without me. Bored as hell.
Exactly.
You'd be
Absolutely.
bored. Yeah.
Exactly. Like look. I can get through my live show when you're not here, but it's not as good. It's just not as good. With all due respect to everybody that comes up, I mean, we have great shows. They're fun. They're fine. But for me personally, it's just better when you're here. Like I at this point, I don't know what to do with myself when your show's not on. You know, if it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Sunday, and it's 6 p.m. Eastern time, If you're not on, I'm like, well, what the fuck do I do now? I mean, usually the answer is corn, but that's beside the point. We are all lost
Oh, you'll
without you,
just
Danny,
go back
so
to
you've
sleep.
got to hang in there.
You know,
Uh,
you'll just go back to sleep if I'm not on. You'll just go back to
Sometimes that
sleep.
is also the answer. It's so basically that's three options. It's eat, sleep, or corn. Not necessarily in that order.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
just one question for Danny, if I could.
sure.
Hey, Danny, I knew you were cool, but I heard you say you have a Mustang.
Yes, I do.
I've ridden
What
in it,
what year?
2006 Mustang convertible.
Oh wow,
and he
wow, wow.
drives it like Burt Reynolds and Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh,
Yes, I did take Yoda to breakfast or lunch, brunch, and
Yeah,
when he was here.
yeah,
Yeah,
cool as that. That's
yeah.
cool.
yeah.
I got to Danny
I'll
on a
share a picture
Friday
with you,
and had
Damon.
to
I'll
wait
share a
till
picture.
Sunday to get in the car with him, and it was worth the wait. It was quite a spectacular ride.
I'm sure he was a perfect driver, kept it under the
Abs
speed limit.
100%. 100%. He's not missing a
Yeah,
beat. No, Danny, let me tell you,
I,
Danny is sharp as a fucking tack. There's, he sounds like he sounds. I get it. We all know that he's an older guy, but his mind is firing off at 100%.
well, the mind's firing off, but the rest of the body's
Oh
only
yeah, no,
about
listen, it's the same with
70%.
me. My
Yeah.
body's a fucking train wreck, but my brain is sharp.
They make appeal for that.
Yeah, that
I
don't
mean,
even
there's
help
a
now.
reason why I shoot myself from here up. You don't get to see any more because
Yeah.
it starts to get upsetting.
And just so you know, I think Peter Thiel has a new designer drug out too. So
He can go fuck
Oh my
himself. Peter
God.
Thiel can just take
Fuck him.
take whatever ideas he has, whatever he produces, and just shove it up his ass. I don't give a I can't stand that guy. He is a piece of garbage. He's not even human. He's
he
humanoid.
sounds crazy. Yeah, he does. He sounds he
You
doesn't
know
even
what
speak human.
This is what Peter Thiel sounds like to me, and this is just my impression of him. He sounds like he was created by a species who studied humans for a long time but didn't quite understand how humans worked. So they got close. They made him look sort of like a human, but he has no facial expressions. He has
Mm-mm.
he has like, oh, my live has been restricted for 10 minutes because we're saying mean things about Peter Thiel. That's funny.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
But he 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 doesn't come off as someone who understands humanity. Even the ideas that he shares are crazy. You know, he's like one of those people that's like, why is it wrong to eat babies? You know, that's how he comes off. So fuck that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, but yes, Danny does have a Mustang, and it's a sweet fucking ride.
Yeah. I'll send you a picture, Damon, on the DM. I'll send you a picture.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
All right,
I look
Damon.
forward to
Thanks
it.
so much for coming up. Have a great night.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
Jessica, final thoughts, please. And thank you, by the way, for being out there and protesting today. That's spectacular.
Of course, absolutely. I was glad to do it. We got a bit more backlash this time than we have previously. Um, but I mean, I still had fun with it. I got to scream at some idiots, so you know, that's always a good time for me.
Yeah.
Um, I don't have a whole lot in the way of final thoughts tonight. Danny, I will try. I can't guarantee, but I will try to make it to your show tomorrow. As a disclaimer, um, I'm probably gonna turn my volume all the way down and just tap the screen, just because I want to support you. But I'm probably not going to be there for the music. I'll be there for you, though, Danny.
There you go. That
I
counts.
appreciate that. But if
That's
it's gonna hurt you or make you feel bad, don't come. Just come
Oh no,
Monday. Hell,
it ain't gonna
fuck
make
tomorrow.
it ain't gonna make me feel bad to turn down the volume and tap the screen. I can do that.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
all right. Have a great night. All right, Danny, last man standing, my brother from another mother. Always happy to have you up here. What are your final thoughts for the evening?
Well, we had some men. Who'd have thought that you would have had two Daniels on the panel the same age? That guy said he was 75
Yep,
also.
the odds are amazing.
And I almost fell out of my chair when he said he was 75. And he also went by the nickname of Danny because you asked me about, and then he started speaking, and I said, no, the other Daniel. So I thought that was kind of weird. But anyway, and then he got kind of snarky and said, Grandpa, go ahead, Grandpa. So, but that was an interesting conversation we had tonight. It was not our typical diner night, but it was really good. I thought so. And I apologize for kind of zoning out there with my son for a
Yeah,
short
no need.
period.
Family is
But,
always first.
yeah. But anyway, I got my pony back in the driveway, so in the car area. So I'm glad of that. So I hope I have a nice day tomorrow. And stuff with everything going on. And I hope I have a good turnout, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you for having me up. I greatly appreciate it.
Of
I don't
course.
want to spill on too long. You're looking pretty thin in the face, and I know you're hungry.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't think there's any real threat of my starving to death anytime soon. But
No, I don't think so.
always happy to have you up here, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. Have a great night.
You too. Love you, brother.
Love you. Take care. All right, folks. Thanks for hanging in there. 2 hours and 12 minutes. Fun conversation. Went all over the place as they always do on diner nights. It's fun to talk about stuff that's not politics and just spend time with my buddies and meet new buddies. So that's a good thing. As always, folks, I'm here hopefully Monday through Saturday, if my voice holds out. Monday through Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find me on just about every other platform. Look for Chocolate Yoddah, look for the persistent rumor, and, we'll get her done. All right, with that, peace, love, and granola. Talk to you soon.